the next tip I want to talk about is multi-factor authentication, and I have very strong feelings about this, but can you explain why having multi-factor authentication, or MFA, is really critical for any security program?
Yeah, so adding MFA is adding a layer of defense to your systems and to your network. So like Heather mentioned, having password managers are very important. Well, beyond that, having multi-factor authentication will make it more difficult for attackers to gain access to the system. So I typically avoid having like email codes sent to your email, and I prefer like an authentication app where there's a one-time password that's refreshing after every 60 seconds. It just seems to be stronger, and it's adding multiple types of MFA, which would be like something you have, your phone, and something which would be that one-time password. So it's adding additional layers of security.
Right, and on top of having your password, so you have multiple methods there, and it's scary with the proliferation of AI. There's software out there that's free where you can go find someone who's posted a YouTube or on Facebook of their voice. You can clone that voice, and you can use that to bypass phone authentication. And there's also a lot of techniques to bypass the one-time codes that are sent through text. Um, Open question. I'm a pretty strong advocate for three-factor authentication. So something something you have, and then something you are. So in this case, having we talked about the authenticator, we talked about the one-time passcode, but that additional layer might be like a hardware token with a biometric. What are your feelings on that? Because a lot of the times when I bring that up, there's a lot of pushback on the friction that it creates for the user, especially if you're trying to log into multiple accounts.
I wouldn't lead with that, just because if we're looking again at our hypothetical organization that has no real security plan in place, I think we get the MFA in place, and then we start back in those when we go into a phase of strategic conversation, we can talk then about, and oh, by the way, you can add this, and here's the impact it will have. But I don't think we lead with anything too complex with this hypothetical situation.